Five speakers, eminent scientists and people from industry, rich experience for this session. Uh, During the morning sessions and the afternoon, I think we have heard a lot on global scenario of rice bran oil, its health and nutritional aspects, and how important
Dr.
it
Yadav,
is.
can you give me one? May I request all of you, please sit down. Please do not cross talk. Please sit down. If you want to talk, please go out. Please be seated so that we can continue the next session. Thank you, Doctor. Kelly.
So the previous session was dedicated to nutrition and health, and this session is dedicated to technology. Now, we all know, I think there was a lot of discussion today morning and afternoon that rice bran is the most healthiest oil, you can say, but there is a lot much to be done as far as this technology is concerned. More important with respect to the byproducts that rice bran oil processing brings out to. But the effort has to be, and let me share, industry is today really geared up, and immense support has come from research institutes like IICT. Dr. RBN Prasad is there with us today. We are, I think, whole RBO processing industry should be indebted to him and IICT by large, that all the byproducts today that we see coming out, in fact, can be converted to value-added products. So all waste truly has to be converted to an asset and not a waste. And I'm pretty confident in the times to come, all the byproducts are going to fetch such an immense economic value that tomorrow I'm not hesitated to put it on record that these byproducts are really going to become your main product, and your main product, rice bran, may become a byproduct. That's kind of realization that rice bran processing can bring up to. We are totally aware. Mr. Goenka in the morning elaborated on oryzanol, lecithin. We all know lecithin can be further fractionated to its fractions, and it can be taken to, Dr. Prakash said, real application in pharma oils where one can go for targeted drug delivery system. This technology is available, nanotechnology is getting into it, and with the advent of supercritical extraction, nano neutralization, I think we can convert and minimize lot of byproducts can be minimized, and they can be converted into value-added products. So without taking much of time, I think we have got 5 speakers, and time allotted is around 20 to 25 minutes per speaker. So we'll try to cut short to 5 minutes from each, and maybe 10 minutes we'll keep towards the end of the session for question-answer session, and we'll still like to complete this session by 6 o'clock. So with this, I welcome our first speaker, Dr. RBN Prasad, to deliver his talk. Dr. RBN Prasad doesn't need any introduction to this August gathering. It is informing or describing Dr. RBN is like showing light to sun. So he has done immense contribution and developed many technologies to the benefit of rice bran industry, and many value additions I think we must be seeing through his presentation. So welcome to you, Doctor. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav. So next 15 minutes, I'm going to make some aspects of integrated technology management of value-added byproducts from rice bran and also rice bran oil. See, just to start with, at IICT, the Center for Lipid Research is dedicated facility for the vegetable oils, biodiesel lubricant research. Around 2 years back, we moved into a new premises with a lot of dedicated facilities in oils and fats, surfactants, biodiesel, lubricants, and vegetable oil processing. And also, I'm happy to inform you that very recently FSSAI has recognized the Center for Lipid Research as a referral food testing laboratory for oils and fats. And also, SCA members all know that we signed an agreement with MOU, particularly with SCA, for for initiating joint research programs. And very recently, we signed an agreement with MOU with even Malaysian Palm Oil Board also to do some joint research for food and industrial applications of palm oil. And also, there is one institute called Indian Institute of Oilseed Research. Previously, it was directed to Oilseed Research. It's very recently it's named as Indian Institute of Oilseed Research, which belongs to ICR. So we initiated a lot of work, particularly 5 or 6 oil seeds, where how to really enhance the quality and also the production of these oil seeds, because country is importing a lot of oil. See, coming to the rice and rice bran and rice bran oil, all of us we know rice is a wonderful grain. Rice grain is a wonderful raw material for all these things. When you really look at husk, it's a source of perpherol and silica, and also bran. All of we're discussing so much. See, particularly most of the things I'm covering in the presentation. When you really go to defatted rice bran, again it's a good source for phytic acid and inositol. And see, overall, just know Dr. G.D. Yadav is telling, by chance if we can really exploit all these byproducts, so definitely rice bran oil may be very small portion of all these things. So particularly the laudoscopy is there, fatty acid distillate to generate a lot of new products, and also glycerol, also a lot of products we can really generate. See, since morning we are really listening, I don't repeat some of the things. So basically, unless we really exploit the byproducts, I think it's very difficult to really answer. So overall capacity utilization of bran production or solvent extraction or refining, it remains low due to large capacities installed. So naturally, only way to balance all these economics of whether with extraction or refining, we need to really exploit the byproducts. So we have IICT particularly has developed a number of products from rice bran oil. We are transferred to several industries also. See, the moment rice bran milled from rice grain, the lipase present in rice bran, it gets activated and idolizes the oil present in it. So even morning Prakash also, he was really telling this particular one. And see, basically that's a real problem for the whole bran, that particular one. So we need to extract the oil immediately at the earliest possible, even though there are some advantages for parboiled bran. So definitely bran contains large amounts of silica, and it has to be removed for edible applications. That's the main problem, particularly in the country, to exploit the bran. So, and also another, the technology, integration one should really look at is the bran particles also, they should not enter into oil, which may create a lot of problems in the quality of oil and byproducts, particularly if you want to exploit the rice bran lecithin, we should see that the particles should not come into there, because first step is the degumming, and automatically into degumming all these bran particles will come, because today the soya lecithin is one of the very, very popular lecithin. But when you really look at one of my slides, I will show you rice bran lecithin. By chance, if you really come out with a good quality, I think the whole world will be after us, because main problem with this particular lecithin is the hexane insoluble should not be more than 0.3%. That's the main specification. If you don't take care, it's definitely, we have analyzed several samples. Even some of the lecithins we got even 3 to 4% also. This is the main technology real challenge for rice bran lecithin. So that is the reason this integrated technology management is very highly essential for the production of value-added products with high quality rice bran and rice bran oil. See, look at one of the very, very attractive product is phytic acid, and also from the bran we can really do. So up to phytic acid, perhaps it's little simple. Then after that, the inositol is a little tough one. So there are some technologies available, but not much of commercially viable technologies are not available around us. So we are trying to work with that. If so, particularly for this industry, R&D institute collaboration is really necessary. But iNostrol is one of the very wonderful product which we can really exploit. And another aspect we have initiated about a year back is supercritical carbon dioxide extraction. IICT, we have a 12-liter capacity supercritical extractor. Of course, no doubt it's a green process, and definitely it will be a little bit expensive, particularly capacity. The capital point of view, it will be quite expensive. The processing wise, it may not be expensive, but it's really you have to spend a lot of money for installing the facility. One extraordinary thing we observed is the particularly rice bran oil, which we really extracted from the bran using supercritical. It contains less than 20 ppm of phosphorus, which is really wonderful, and also quality of oil is extraordinary. And see, basically, another thing also we observed, we got something like around 2% of more oil compared to the traditional solvent extraction. The more attractive thing is the de-oiled bran, which is very attractive source for good quality protein. When you use the typical solvent extraction, there is a possibility of what you call denaturing of the protein and other things. So like that, there are some advantages are there. So this is a wonderful technology, but of course long way to go. But we initiated 12-liter scale commercial pilot plant we have. See, the main problem with this particular oil is it's little bit different from all other oils. See, all other oils, they come from seed. This particular oil comes from bran. So that is the reason the whole composition, it really varies. See, particularly any oil other than rice bran, they contain in the final oil something like 97 plus or 98% plus triglycerides. Whereas in this case, we analyzed so many samples, hundreds of samples, it never contains not more than 80 to 90% of triglyceride. So it contains so many other vertical components, which is a really, sometimes it's real advantage for the industry, sometimes real disadvantage for the industry to really get the particularly oil processing. See, here in this thing, main attractive products are wax is one of the attractive product, phospholipids, and most what you call interesting product, glycolipid, which is also not at really exploited. And this is the oil which contains something like 2 to 3% of phytosterol esters. Again, phytosterol esters are very good for cholesterol lowering. This is a wonderful gift of God created, particularly in the form of sterol esters in the rice bran oil. Original, all of us were really talking 1 to 2%. And when you really look at the byproducts, there are basically in any oil, it's a gum, soap stock, crude spent bleaching earth, deodorant distillate. Particularly in case of soybean, sunflower and rice bran, we have crude wax also. So these are the possibilities of getting different what you call value added products from gums, food grade lecithin and also modified lecithins, from soap stock. Of course, very few people are doing still the chemical refining and oryzanol and also fatty acid methyl esters. From crude wax. We can have bleached wax and tricontanol and octocosanol. From spent bleaching earth, of course, fatty acid methyl ester you can do. Dewatered distillate, of course, tocopherols, tocotrienols and phytosterols. Of course, in this case, when you really look at soybean and sunflower, it's very easy to really isolate phytosterols and tocopherols. Whereas in this case, dewatered distillate does not contain much of tocotrienols, and we need to really what you call modulate perhaps DO want to extract from tocotrienols. It's a real challenge. So coming to oryzanol, because we heard so much, I don't want to really what you call repeat all those things. Only thing is I want to say that whoever is really doing chemical refining, all strategically for some of the reasons, if somebody is really doing, it's a possibility of real isolation of oryzanol. So in fact, we are working with Dr. Sharmaji on this oryzanol. Very recently we transferred the technology in NIN. We are doing what you call some studies, toxicity and some other studies. So they are very aggressively working on this particular one. See, basically our technology is a combination of solvent extraction, solvent fractionation, soap noodles. So now, of course, people slowly, chemical refining is really what you call getting disappeared. But still, for some of the reasons, it may have to continue. And when somebody does really this particular chemical refining, then oryzanol is a wonderful byproduct. Of course, thinking this in mind, IICT, we have carried out, we have synthesized a phytosteroyl ferulate. See, basically, your soya deodorant distillate contains camphorsterol, sigmasterol, beta-cytosterol. Incidentally, these things are present in the original also. Of course, this does not contain triterpenol. What we did, we have hooked with ferulic acid. We named it as a synthetic original, and we compared this with natural original. Exactly, we have got a similar property of this. Already we filed patents, and also we created a lot of data on that. Now we are carrying out some fortification studies with other oils like sunflower and palm oil. We are adding this particular one, synthetic original. We are generating data. By chance, this particular one, because no, we can make heavy oil, something like rice bran oil, by chance if we can really implement that one. So rice bran wax, one of the wonderful byproducts. I really thank Sri Goenkaji. Long back, he has initiated this particular work. We are fortunate to provide him the initial technology. After that, he has really developed. The main problem with this is it contains around 5 to 12% of resinous matter. Of course, depending on the process, your dewaxing hydraulic process or something like that, the oil content varies. In general, 20 to 70% depending on the process oil. So the main problem is resinous matter. We have to intelligently remove this particular one. IICT has transferred to several industries, particularly using a solvent. We have removed the resinous matter and the wax, and after that, using the bleaching, then you can get the bleached wax of very good quality. It has several applications now. Several people started really producing this particular one. Generally, it has morning, as Goenkaji was telling, it's a real substitute for carnauba. Of course, it may not be 100% by chance if you can take 50-50 or 75-25. So definitely you can really get, because the main difference with carnauba and this is carnauba wax, the melting point is something like 83. It contains some aromatic component. That's the reason it has some advantages there. So if you can really have 50